Hey vinyl community, Jeff here. I am back again. I know I said in my previous video I was going to do some stuff with some CDs next, but I wanted to go ahead and do a vinyl finds digging type video. This past weekend, the wife and I were out. We had, most everybody was scattered, and so we had kind of the day off, and it was way too hot to even try to do anything outside. As far as, I know we have some yard work and stuff that needs to be done, but my wife's idea was, hey, do you want to go hit some thrift stores and some record stores? Initially, she was actually like, hey, why don't we take Saturday and run up to Richmond and hit some record stores? Richmond is almost 2 hours away, hour and a half, 2 hours away. Yeah, I've never been to that area, never been to any of the record stores up there. It's a big city up there. I'm like, I don't really want to drive up to Richmond. So anyway, we just kind of went over to the adjoining town. We go over there periodically, and we hit a bunch of thrift stores, flea market, a new bookstore that has records similar to that. We have two in this area, and I've never been to that one. Anyway, we hit a bunch of different places. We just kind of went out cruising. She's like, I think it was kind of like a pre-birthday thing. My birthday comes up this Wednesday, and she was like, you want to go buy yourself something? She let me buy some cymbals online for my drums, which are in transit, etc., etc. So it's been kind of like, rather than her try to find something I want, she's like, why don't we go out and you buy something you want? So we hit some record stores, we hit some thrift stores. I was finding the usual thrift store stuff, not a lot of great stuff. Some of these actually had come in, I got from other places. But anyway, we did find, I went to the record store that I go to all the time that has the unofficial releases. They have a lot of stuff. But man, his prices, he has skyrocketed his prices. And I just couldn't pull the trigger on anything, any of the unofficial releases, anything. I mean, he has a lot of killer metal stuff, but prices were out of the world. I just couldn't do it. Found some used stuff, and even his used stuff sadly has gotten crazy. $30 for a used record. That's not even, I don't know where some of these prices come from, but I have a hard time paying $20 for an album. That's just, anyway. Was flipping and found a section where they were all under $10, and I found this. I'm like, well, I found an album, and I told my wife, I said, well, now if they had the first album by that band, and they did. This is the first Huey Lewis and the News album. I have all the albums after this that I need, all except this one, the first one. I don't have any of the stuff from the 90s. And so I grabbed this, and I was like, yeah, and you can see there, it's like, $7.99. I think I don't even know why it's scratched out. Unfortunately, he put the stickers on there, so it's hard to get out. But yeah, I remember having this album back in the day, and, wanted to go ahead and grab that. It was in good condition. Now, he also had a copy of Small World, and I thought, well, I don't know a lot of songs by that, so I'm not going to buy that. But then I got home and realized that would have been the last album in the 80s. Before, they went into the 90s, it was whatever. And it would have been the last one I needed for the 80s collection. So, anyway, so I grabbed that. It's funny, because I go to this record store, and I usually come out of there, way up in the double digits. I've been out of that store up in the triple digits. This is where I got the place where I get all the unofficial releases from that I don't buy online. But this time I came out of there, and it was under $20. Now, I'm flipping, and I keep seeing this particular artist, but I keep seeing the second album everywhere I go. And I found a copy the other day that was like in great condition, but I already got it, and mine's in pretty decent condition, so I didn't buy it. Then I go to this store and I see it, and I told my wife again, I said, now if they had his first album, that's the one I really want. And I'm flipping, and there it is, the first Aldo Nova album. So everywhere I go, I see the second album. I never see this third or fourth or any of those. They're harder to find on vinyl. But this is the one with Fantasy. It's the only big hit, but they had it. I'm like, great, finally. Grabbed a couple fillers there. Let's see. Picked up a copy. It wasn't in bad condition. That's a horrible looking bag, but Piano Man by Billy Joel. It's actually a really bad bag. Been looking for this. This is the second Billy Joel album. Got all the great stuff on it. And it was in good condition. I've been looking, Walmart has reissued this. Yeah, it's in really good condition. I saw the Walmart reissues of the random 5 albums that they picked, and I picked it up the other day, and I thought, I'm gonna wait. And when you find a copy of an album like that for like $2 or $3, it's kind of like, okay, maybe I didn't want to spend the $25 for the Walmart edition. All right, these next couple are going to fall into the Christian rock category. Jerusalem Can't Stop Us Now. There's only one Jerusalem. This was one of the only latter albums by Jerusalem that I needed. I'm glad to have this, but I still need their second album. Or their first. I think it's their second. I'm missing Volume 2, their second album. But it was great to get this. Was able to pick this up. This album to me, the albums previous to this were a little edgier. This one they were going a little more commercial, but you know, that's how it felt back in the 80s. I'm like, why is this album so wimpy? You know, but over the years, you really appreciate what it is. You appreciate it for what it is, yeah. Servant. This is the one of their new wave albums that they started off as a classic rock band in the late 70s and early 80s. I'm missing Rock and Revival, I realized. I thought I had all the early albums, but then I got home and realized that's the one I'm missing. But I knew I was missing this. This is from their latter, you know, new wave before they broke up. Swimming in Human Ocean, I think this might have been the first or second album I ever discovered by them back in the 80s. But this one has eluded me as far as finding a vinyl issue. Not that it's not available online and not that it's not cheap. I ordered it once from a guy online and he ended up writing me back and saying, oh, it turns out I don't have it anymore. I'm going to send you the rest of your order. I'm like, I only ordered the rest of my order because I wanted to save shipping and get a couple extra things, but I really wanted this. But so I'm glad I ran across that, and that was at that the Book Exchange, which is the place where people sell their records for, you know, a couple dollars and they sell them to you for a couple dollars. So they also had some other stuff there that I was surprised to find, but it was always stuff I already had. Kenny Marks, Right Where You Are. Funny, Kenny Marks has about a half dozen albums out, and I only had one back in the day, and it's probably now the only one I don't have on vinyl. I have found almost every one of his other albums. This is one of his earlier ones too. But the Attitude album, which is the only one I ever had back in the 80s, is the only one that I have yet to find on vinyl in the wild. And I was surprised, you know. But anyway, I can track it down if I want to. But kind of a, you know, you could tell it's kind of a rocker, but, you know, not too hard rock. Kind of a contemporary rock for the 80s. And then up next, we got a couple Billy Cobham albums. Billy Cobham, A Funky Side of Sings. And I've been picking up a lot of his older stuff, trying to fill in my collection. This was one that I needed, and I got it. You know, the cover's got some tape on it and stuff, but album-wise, it's in really decent condition. I've given it a spin. That tape really sticks to the bag and irritates me there. So I grabbed that to fill in a little spot, and then I also found a copy of Crosswinds, which is another one there. I think I'm closing in now on having the majority of his 70s fusion-y stuff. I already have most of the 80s stuff that is really where I learned and cut my teeth on him. But he's got a lot of stuff out there. And but as far as the stuff that coming out on vinyl back in the days, I think I have all but maybe one or two now. I have to go back and look. And then he's appeared on a lot of other albums by a lot of other people. And that's always hard to kind of pick up. But glad to have those two. I really love his stuff, and the further I get into his stuff, the more I really just dig it. It's great stuff. So anyway, that was it. It was a great little Saturday out and about. We spent quite a few hours out, kept getting in the car where it was cool, and then running into the air conditioning places, but had a great time. Hung out. We went out to eat, just kind of fun stuff with the wife and I, and you know, she let me buy some records and stuff. And great week. Thanks for watching though. I will be back. I will see you later. I got these CDs. The other ones did come in, so I will be back with those sooner or later. Rock on and rock hard.